Let's get another question here, Jim. Speaking of people who won't leave the business, have you been following the Tony Khan, Kevin Kelly? Well, it wasn't even a back and forth. It was really just Kevin Kelly tweeting out about Tony Khan.
Well, I saw something to this nature, but fill the fans in and me at the same time on the exact quote and refresh me.
I believe first was this quote. Now, this is a weird thing because I have not read up on this or asked anyone or followed it at all.
So, with that caveat, we're going to give our expert analysis.
With that said, there's something going on with Corey Graves in WWE, and I don't know.
Okay, well, I know this, yes.
I don't know what part's of work and what part is Corey Graves needing a timeout, or I don't know what's going on. And then there's other people saying he's having a mental health thing, so then you feel like, oh, if he's having that, I really feel bad, but I don't know, because then there's people say it's an angle. But in the middle of that...
He seems to be a sharp young man that would be a good self-promoter, and probably unless he was ready to go and go somewhere else, he wouldn't malign the company to any great degree.
I have to say, I was not a fan of his in his lesbian Max Headroom days, but he has gotten better, and I actually think his work lately has been the best work he's done. But Kevin Kelly tweeted out, "Put me and Corey Graves together at the desk. Corey would become the biggest commentary star in wrestling because I would actively try to get him over, let his star shine." So let me stop it there, because again, that's not directly about AEW, but it's more about, I guess, the philosophy of a commentator. What are your thoughts on that?
Well, there has to be a partnership, teamwork between the play-by-play guy and the color guy, whether it was Gorilla Monsoon and Bobby Heenan, or Jim Ross and Jerry Lawler, or myself and Jim Ross, any commentary duo, Vince and Jesse. The play-by-play guy, the host, the straight man, can't just disregard or shit all over or not go to his analyst and ask questions. There has to be back and forth. And if a good play-by-play guy with experience knows, okay, my color guy, he's good at this type of commentary or this type of thing, or extrapolating in this area, but he's not really good on, I don't know, the nuts and bolts of that or whatever, you'll pitch more of the stuff the guy can be entertaining at. You see what I'm saying? Gorilla was setting up some of Bobby's lines. So
that's why Jesse Ventura didn't work in WCW and he worked in WWE, because the interplay with a Gorilla Monsoon or a Vince McMahon was much different than with a Jim Ross.
Yes, because it was two different. First of all, Jesse's style was made for the WWF. That's where it was made, and it was made for that. WCW had a different presentation. JR and Jesse didn't particularly, to me, have personal or professional chemistry. But it's different context, different teams, different presentations. But on a level playing field, the play-by-play guy tries to work with the color guy so he can be entertaining, but still telling the stories, calling the match, disseminating the information. But you play to the guy's strengths, and because the play-by-play guy is usually the first one you hear on the program, the last one you hear before they go to a break, the first one you hear coming back from a break, he's the framework. So if he monopolizes it and never goes to the color guy or, whatever, then, so I see what he's saying there. Hopefully I've explained it right.
Well, that tweet apparently caused someone named Kenny Jones, not the former drummer of The Who and the Faces, and the Small Faces, to tweet out,
"Yeah, after he got that glandular condition, his face really enlarged.
It annoys me how AEW screwed you over and was so fun listening to you and Nigel together. At least they had someone calling the in-ring product instead of telling us, we'll be in bumfuck Arkansas, tickets on sale Saturday. What a monumental maneuver. Erg." Kevin Kelly retweeted that. "All I wanted to do was call wrestling. Never in my wildest dreams did I think I'd have to listen to a stuttering son of a billionaire feeding me lines and then correcting himself and telling me I was doing great. They waited until I had a mental breakdown to fire me."
Oh, boy. Well, That's pretty stiff. And can you imagine? I didn't even think that that was a possibility, that Tony Khan would be in the announcers' headsets telling them how to announce the wrestling.
What do you think's telling Shivani every stupid thing he says?
Oh, my God. So that tweet, I'm sure, landed well with the land of Lilliput.
Well, that's been the first thing we've heard from Kevin Kelly in a while. And the first thing is saying the stuttering son of a billionaire saying something and then correcting himself. Vince wasn't doing. Vince was just yelling things. He wasn't saying, "Stop! I got it wrong." I'm sorry.
No, he never corrected himself. Even if you said, "I just said that about 30 seconds ago," Vince. Well, say it again. Make sure to reiterate it.
Actually, it looks like another person jumped in. This is Jose Marrero.
Oh, Jose has an opinion.
I understand why you thought it would be a good opportunity, having not met the guy, but I'm sure within weeks you saw what a disorganized mess that company is. To which Kevin replied, "Yeah, it took one day. No production meeting. Formats at 6 p.m. for a 7 p.m. start."
Oh, my God.
Now, you obviously have more experience with wrestling production than any of us. Is that the typical thing? No production meeting, formats an hour before live broadcast?
No, well, you hear the stories all the time that Vince would, tear stuff up at the last minute, rewrite it or whatever, and here's the new segment 6 or whatever, but not just no formats at all until 6 o'clock, and no production meeting never happened. Now I've heard that maybe in the dying days of WCW, they were handing out hour 3 during hour 1 or whatever, but no production. Even with an OVW television or Ring of Honor TV or anything with a minuscule budget compared to what they're doing, if I had to, I would say 30 minutes before bell, get the fucking director out of the truck. I need the camera guys. I need my audio guy. I need all the referees, and sit them down here. We're going to run through this fucking format. Usually, especially Ring of Honor, when we were taping 3 and 4 shows in one night, we would do it at 1, 2 o'clock in the afternoon. And Vince's usually at 11 o'clock pay-per-views, 12 o'clock TV tapings in the day. But the idea that you never got the crew together to read through the format, not only maybe that's why they pitched to the wrong things, or the audio on a pre-tape doesn't come through to the house, or the mic's not live, or all the other things, but that's where all the various departments ask questions. You can't just say, well, they magically appear at a Partridge Family bus. Okay, what door are they coming through? How long is my camera cable? Do we have goddamn light over there? We might have to... There are multiple departments that need to know how they're going to bring this to life. The last production meetings I did were the NWA shows when they did the studio taping, infamously, down in Atlanta. And they were using some guys that were not terribly experienced in doing a live to tape television production. So that's why they had me in the production meetings, because I would try to ask the questions on their behalf. If I raise my hand, for audio purposes, when this guy interrupts, has he got his own mic, or is he picking one up, or is it going to be live? What's the cue? Or for timing purposes, how much time do these guys need to execute this before we're drastically over time? Or whatever department it might be, let's see if we can figure out what might go wrong before it's in front of people based on the reading of the television format. Does that make any sense to you?
It certainly makes sense to me. So again, the idea that...
Or you can just go out there and, okay, start shooting it. What?
I would have guessed that it's hard to hit your times if you don't have this all figured out.
Well, they get overruns, so what the hell?